Means I don't have to try to tank the Reaver on this turn.
Okay, the stream is up. Welcome to this week's Teaching Raid live stream, broadcasting live from Saralona. If you're new to these events, this is an event that we do every week in the winter and spring. We've been doing it for the past 4 years. 4 new players, and we take them in and show them how these raids work. And tonight's raids are going to be Reaver's Fate and Fall of Truth in Giant Hold. It's like the heroic and epic raid. And I have a few of my guildies here who are just, here to help out and help make sure things go smooth. And Bola's going to help tank during Fall of Truth. And for the folks that we're taking in, sometimes there are people who are new to the game. Sometimes it's people who've been playing for a while and just maybe don't know the raids that we're doing that week. And we try to keep it like a low stress learning environment. And we're not trying to make these folks expert at these raids. We're just trying to get them comfortable with these raids so that they, maybe feel okay about joining a pug and have a reasonable idea of how the raid works. It can be very, very difficult for people to get into the raiding scene and learn these raids. There's so many raid leaders that don't want to explain things, or they don't want to take new players. They don't want to take the time to show people how they work. So that's what we're doing here. So I'm gonna take a few minutes. If you're watching the live stream now, you got several minutes before the action gets started, because I gotta get all the new folks that are signed up for it in. Hey, Bella Song. Yeah, cool. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Rare, welcome. Hey, Thaddeus, welcome. Welcome to Funky. Welcome, Math. Welcome, Travable. I posted a group because we only had 3 signups for the event this week, so I thought I'd just post to see if there's anybody else who wanted. So, we already got one person in here that is joining because of the LFM, and I've got a few more folks in the queue, and I'm gonna just need to take a minute to figure out if they actually are new, because sometimes people just see the LFM and they think, oh, I want to join that raid, and they don't realize the teaching raid for new players only, or people that are new to the raid. So just need a few minutes. You got plenty of time to go grab a drink or something if you want to do that. Okay, it looks like none of the rest of the people in the live stream, or in the, excuse me, in in the queue, the people that hit the LFM, look like none of them are actually new to the raid, so some of them are just running it on their own. All right, well, welcome to Reaver's Fate Teaching Raid. We got some folks here that have been to these events before, but got some folks that I don't think have attended teaching raids before. So who here has never attended one of our teaching raid events? And Travable, you said you've been playing for a while. You just have never done this raid. Is that right? Okay, cool. Yeah, sometimes we get people who are new to the game. Sometimes we get, you know, long-time players. I mean, sometimes we get people that have been playing since beta and just avoided the raiding scene for 10 years, you know. Lots of reasons why people avoid raids. The Funky, I don't think you've joined one of our events before, have you? Before we get started, I want to know who has never done Reaver's Fate before, or if you've done it maybe like a couple times and you know, maybe you're still learning it or didn't understand how it worked, because it's not just for first timers. These events are also for folks that, you know, maybe have done the raids a few times and just, you know, nobody ever explained what was going on. Rur, you've never done it? Cool. Matthew, you've never done it? Okay, cool. Wow, 3 first timers. The Funky, do you have sound? Okay, are you new to this raid? Have you ever done it before? Okay, cool. So we got 4 first timers through Reaver's Fate. That's amazing. Alright guys, we are going to do it on Elite. This is just a level 16 raid on Elite, so it's going to be very easy. Go ahead and step in and just hang out at the entrance. Also want to let you guys know that we are live streaming, and we just got 8 people watching right now. And probably not going to be more than about 20 or 30 people watching. But what's cool is that there are some people, you know, from other servers that are learning along with us. And I want to know, you know, for those of you watching the live stream, and welcome to those that have just tuned in, who watching the live stream has never done Reaver's Fate before, or maybe you've done it a few times and you didn't really understand what was going on. Oh, okay, no problem. Oh yeah, Defunky's not flagged. Okay, so it's just gonna be us. Okay, well, so the good news is that, well, this is a very old raid, and it's only level 18 on Elite, so it's a very, very soloable raid. I mean, you can bring your epic tune in here, and you should have no problem with it. This raid can even be soloed at level. It's definitely a challenge to solo this at level, you know, like at level 16 on Elite, but it can be done. It can be reasonably done. So the good news there is that, you know, it can be hard to find a group for this because it's such an older raid and there's just not as many people looking for the loot that comes from here. So if you can't get a group together, you know that just, you know, you can come in here on your epic tune, or maybe you and a friend, and you can knock it out as long as you know how it works. And it's a pretty simple raid, but there are a few important mechanics about it that aren't really intuitive, so we're going to show you how those work. And if you have any questions along the way, yes, we do have some folks here that are first timers to these events. I'm going to let you go, Defunky, since you're not flagged. And maybe we can catch you in a future event. And the raid is actually very easy to fail if you don't know what to do. Like I said, there's a few things that you need to do that aren't really intuitive, so we're going to explain how those things work. So once we step forward, and actually let's go ahead and step forward to right about where I am, past this, there's a line in the floor, that's kind of the lockout point. Once we step into the arena and activate the Storm Reaver, there'll be a barrier here at the door, and so you wouldn't be able to get past that barrier. Also, the barrier, when you're standing close to it, for whatever reason, it drains your spell points. So throughout the raid, don't hang out near the barrier that comes up here. Yeah, it drains. I don't know why they did that, but that's the way it works. So when we step forward, the Storm Reaver is going to activate, and we're just going to pull him to the side, to the, like, just off to the left, kind of off in the corner. And we're going to basically keep him at the side as much as we can throughout the raid, because throughout the raid he will do an anti-gravity effect, and he'll toss us into the ceiling. And if you look up, it's kind of hard to see, but there's like a hole in the ceiling, and I can't see him from here, but there's a bunch of spikes in that hole. And it's not a smooth ceiling, and so there's all these like different features up there that can like knock you into the middle. And if you hit those spikes, well, by today's standards, you're probably going to be okay. But if you have lower hit points and lower PRR, they can kill you. So that's why we're going to fight the Storm Reaver on the side, because that way when we get tossed up, hopefully we'll just stay right up there at the side of the ceiling and not get bounced into the center. If you die there, or if you die at any part in this raid, you get sent to the penalty box. If you look to the right, halfway up the wall, you'll see there's a blue barrier up there. Sorry, you gotta tell. So if you die, your soul stone will be put into that penalty box up there. And there's not really an easy way to get you out. You can be let out, and you'll be let out at the end of the raid. But I will explain how you can get people out of there during the raid in a minute. So while we are fighting the Storm Reaver, he's going to sort of randomly shoot these balls of electricity up into the ceiling, and they're going to be kind of shooting at. If you look up, you'll see there's 9 orbs, in a 3x3 pattern up there. Some of them are like skulls, and some of them are just like kind of look like weird balls. And if his little lightning charge hits one of those, it'll get it spinning. You can see they're all rotating very slowly right now, but when they get hit by one of his lightning charges, they'll start spinning really fast. And we need to get all 9 of those spinning, or lit. And as far as I know, his electrical charges just hit one at random. Years ago, when I was a noob, I remember somebody saying that there was a way to get him to hit a certain orb with his charge. I've never heard any actual way to do that. If there is, I don't know about it. In any event, we're waiting for him to, shoot these random charges up to the ceiling, and we need all 9 lights to be lit, or all 9 orbs to be spinning. Once we do that, once we get all 9 orbs spinning, it sort of takes us to the next stage. And he's going to start casting fly. We're going to start like getting a fly effect from his energy, or I don't know exactly how it works, but when you're near him, you can actually get fly cast on you. And it's one of the few quests in the game where you actually can fly. And it's kind of neat. And once we get to that point, what we're going to do is one person will be sent up into that hole into the ceiling, and they're going to fly to the west through a very simple maze of spikes. It's kind of twisty, and the spikes kind of make really tight openings at some points. It's designed for you to hit them and die along the way. But one person will fly up there and fly to the west, and there's a lever that needs to be pulled. And that is called the kill lever. That lever has to be pulled before... Well, it doesn't technically have to be pulled before the Storm Reaver dies, but it does definitely have to be pulled to advance to the next part of the raid. So, generally speaking, you don't want to kill the Storm Reaver until the kill lever is pulled. And what that lever does is, once the Storm Reaver is killed, it'll bring down the barrier on the left. You'll see there's a blue barrier on the left over there, and some stairs behind it. If we killed the Storm Reaver and that kill lever wasn't pulled, that barrier would not come down, and then we'd just be stuck here. We wouldn't be able to advance to the next part. So it's very... So this is this is a crucial part of this raid. Is we do not want to kill the Storm Reaver until that lever is pulled. So because we're all way over level, we're going to DPS him down really quick. Remember, this is just a level 16 raid. It's just going to be a lot of us just standing around and waiting for like 5-10 minutes for him to light all the orbs. Now, when we start getting fly, if somebody were to fly up and instead of going to the west to the kill lever, and that's the only thing there other than, like I said, sort of a maze of spikes, if they went to the east through some other spikes and twisting passages, there's another room with a lever, and that other room to the east is the penalty box. So you can actually, somebody can fly up and fly through the spikes and down into the penalty box and pull a lever there, and that lets people's soul stones out. And that's how you would get people up during the raid. Otherwise, they're not going to get out until the end of the raid when it completes. Now, just a heads up that if you're ever doing this, this raid in a pug, and you die and get sent into the penalty box, probably nobody is going to get you out. In fact, the only time, if I were leading this raid, that I would ever send somebody up there to let people out is if, sometimes you're doing that level, you're short-handed, half the people are dead, and it's kind of an emergency situation. You really need those extra bodies for DPS, then you might send somebody up there. Otherwise, you don't typically want to spend the time to do that. This is a timed raid, and it's very easy to fail because of the time running out. You only get 20 minutes. And it has kind of a weird timer. I can't see it from here, but once we step forward a little bit more, I guess my draw distance isn't turned up or something, you're going to see some runes on the wall, like 4 or 5 columns of runes. And that's basically like almost like an abacus, or it's like a base 9 abacus. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. But the runes are basically, it's the timer. And once all the runes count down, then it's over. But like I said, it's 20 minutes. So I only want to beat the Storm Reaver down to about 20% maybe. If we take him down any further than that, because we're all so over level, it'd be really easy to kill him by accident. Like I said, if we kill him before that lever gets pulled, the west lever, then we can't progress the raid. Now, I want to emphasize that a noobish mistake that I've seen happen so many times is that somebody will go, they'll say, oh, I got fly, I'm going to go up and pull the lever, and they go the wrong way. Because there's a lever to the east, too. That's the lever to let the people out of the penalty box. And they're like, okay, I pulled the lever, okay, kill the Storm Reaver, and then you kill the Storm Reaver and the barrier's still up, and you're like, what happened? And the guy's like, oh, I pulled the lever. Well, you pulled the wrong lever. Make sure when you go up there, you go to the west. But we only need to send one person up there. But I really want to emphasize that, like if you go and you solo this yourself, or you're doing it with your guildies or something, make sure it's that west lever that's pulled. It's really easy to fly up there and lose your bearings and go the wrong way. So we're going to beat down the Storm Reaver, wait for him to light all the lights, fly up, get the kill lever, then kill the Storm Reaver, and then we're going to go to the west through that barrier, and there's a puzzle over there that needs to be solved. And the puzzle is like an old board game called... What's it called? I never played it.
Mastermind.
Mastermind. Yes. Okay. So if you've played the old board game Mastermind, which I haven't, it's supposed to be the same thing. Now, I'm not going to be explaining to you how to use the how to do the puzzle. I'm just going to give you a link to a solver that's going to tell you, basically plug in an algorithm, and it'll tell you what solutions to enter, and it will lead you to solution within about 5 moves. And I'm going to give you the link to that solver now. I'm going to put that solver link in the live stream as well. I unfortunately will not be able to show the solver on the live stream. My live is not set up to show a web page. No, it's different than any other puzzle in the game. It's like a it's a 4-digit number that you basically have to guess the solution of, and each place has 6 different options, and they're like dice 1 through 6, and you basically have to figure out what the solution is. It's a randomly generated 4-digit number, and each number can be 1 to 6. And like I said, I'm not even going to be able to explain to you how to do the puzzle. I'm just giving you a link to the solver. That's what I've always used. But there are people that sort of know the logic of it and can just sort of figure it out on their own. But here's the thing: if you get it wrong, you only get, I think, 12 guesses. And if you don't get it right in 12 guesses, the raid auto fails. And you know, when I'm leading a raid, I don't want to fail the raid because I'm playing around. You know, I just want to get it done and get it right. You know, and so we can complete the raid for everybody. So I just do what the solver tells me. When you enter an incorrect solution to the solver, it will spawn air elementals. So people will take care of that while one person is doing the puzzle. Also, air elementals will spawn in while we're fighting the Storm Reaver here, and they spawn when his energy charge hits one of the corner circles, the corner orbs. So you remember, look up, there are 9 orbs. When his energy hits the corner ones, it will spawn maybe about 6 or 8 air elementals, so we'll want to take them out. And I do want to say, be very, very careful. And once we have the Storm Reaver prepped to like 20%, you know, watch the AoEs. You know, we don't want chain shapes flying over there and killing the Reaver prematurely. Because if we kill the, like I said, if we kill the Reaver prematurely, we can't advance the raid. Any questions before we get started? Now, I also want to say that, like I said, this is a soloable raid. When you get fly cast on you and you fly up to get the lever, you don't have a lot of time, so you really need to be quick about flying up, pulling the lever, and flying back. You only have about an extra 20 seconds or so. Not a lot of time to play around, but it's totally soloable, like I said, but it's just, you know, you don't have a lot of extra time. Okay, let's go ahead and get some buffs.
With the penalty box, can you self-raise in there?
That's a good question.
No,
And
you cannot.
you can't. Okay. Did we try that one time in a guild raid?
Yes, we did.
Did we try to have people gibbers up there?
Yeah, the one time we tried it, you gibberish, you come up and you go right back to dead.
Okay. Alright, guys, let's do this. Everybody go over here to the left wall. I'm just going to grab the Reaver and pull him over. But, you know, like I said, we're going to be staying out of the center, but during teaching raids, you know, I encourage folks to sort of experiment and see what happens when things go wrong. So if you want to hang out in the center and get tossed up, go for it. There's one of his electrical charges lighting the corner orb right ahead of us, on top of us, so he's spawning air elementals. Remember, when the corner orbs get lit, it spawns air elementals. Soloing this at level 16 is a fun challenge. It is definitely a challenge. Soloing at level 30, not so much, but if you've never soloed this raid, I encourage you to give it a try. It is definitely one of the most soloable raids in the game.
If you solo, how do you kill him after you go into the lever?
So you don't have a whole lot of time, but there is enough time to fly up, pull the lever, and fly back. You just need to be relatively quick about it. If you go straight there and straight back, you'll have about 20 extra seconds of fly. Also, take a look, if you couldn't see it before, take a look at the runes on the north wall. You'll see that they're sort of counting down. Like I said, it's a base 9 system. If you know how that works, like if you're familiar with systems other than our normal base 10 number system. And so it's like the right column is the 1s, and the next column is the 9s, and the next column is I guess the 81s, and the next column is, I don't know, I can't multiply 9 times 81 in my head. But each time, like when the column all the way to the right depletes, it will pull a rune off of the next column over, and then refill.
That'd be 729.
729. Okay, the left column is the 729s. As opposed to if this were a base 10 system, would be the thousands column. 1s, 10s, 100s, thousands. This is, 1s, 9s, 81s, and 7, whatever. And then, once the second column is depleted, it will pull from the third. When that's depleted, it'll pull from the fourth until all the runes have counted down to nothing. But you don't really need to know how to read those runes. You just know that there is it's a 20-minute timed raid. But if you did know how to read them, that can be helpful. You can look to see generally how much time is left. And I have run out of time in here. When Reaper mode first hit, we tried to do this on like Reaper 3 and ran out of time a couple times.
At level or over level?
At level 14. We tried to do it with like 3 or 4 people. And we couldn't do it. I mean, the first time we tried, we got literally one puzzle move away from solving. If I had 30 more seconds, if I had 15 more seconds, I could have done it. And that was the closest we got with doing it 4 on R3 during that like first week of Reaper mode. So take a look up. If you're new, look up, see how some of the orbs are spinning. Looks like we got 5 of them spinning now. We need all 9 of those to start spinning. There's also another unique mechanic here, that when you're standing near the Storm Reaper, he's going to give you a static charge that's going to show up in your buff bar. And it's going to start off with like minor static charge, and then like greater static charge, and then I believe major is the highest tier. And when you have that major static charge, you will regenerate spell points really quickly, like 250 spell points per tick. So especially at level, that can be really handy for spellcasters to get that major static charge to regenerate their spell points. There are no shrines in this raid. But if you have the major charge and you get another charge from him, it'll reset your stacks back to like the minor charge. So once you get that major charge, if you want that, you need to back off the Reaver until you have enough spell points. And like I said, I encourage you to go out to the center. Get flung up into the middle. See what that's like. That way when you join a pug and it happens, you don't panic. Now is the time to learn these things. Probably no one here will die from it. You do have a little bit lower hit points, but you should be fine. Unless you fail every single save and hit a whole bunch of them. So DPS, not really, you know, when you're doing it way over level like this. And I got flung up. So here's the spikes. Oh wow, I got flung way up. And totally lost control, and I'm like way down the passage. We're almost all lit. Looks like we just have 2 orbs more to go, so let's start getting a little more DPS on the Storm Reaver. You can see he's going down really quickly with all these epic tunes in here.
I ended up, I'm over at the Reaver already.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, I got tossed up and then I got tossed to the side, so I just walked through the spikes.
If you are at the,
I've had that happen.
yeah, if you're at the lever, go ahead and pull it.
Fully no.
Okay, stop DPS on Reaver, please. Stop DPS. We still need, even though the lever is pulled, we still need all of these orbs to be lit, I believe. You know, that...
We do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I never really got into this scenario before where the lever was pulled before all the orbs were lit. So no more DPS on the Storm Reaver, please. Keep your Warlock auras away from him. We still have 2 orbs to go. This is the ultimate piking spot right here. You can like hang out here.
Yeah, I don't think the barrier's down
Nobody
to
will
the
know
west yet either.
that you're piking the whole raid. What'd you say, dude?
I don't think the barrier's down to the puzzle room.
No, it's not. It won't go down until the Reaver is dead. And we don't want to kill the Reaver until all the orbs are lit. We still have 2 to go. Here's that static charge. You can see I have the major static charge here. I think that's the highest. My spell point should be regenerating. I don't see blue numbers ticking. This is a tier above major, I can't remember. Let's see. Okay, so here's the part of the raid that can be frustrating when, you know, he just keeps sending his charge up to the same orbs over and over and over, and you can basically waste a lot of time if he just doesn't want to light certain orbs, and there's just nothing anybody can do about that, as far as I know. Alright, he's lighting one of the unlit ones now, so we have 1 to go. Oh, there's a superior charge, Travis? Okay, thank you. I don't run this raid very much anymore. In fact, about the only time I do is for these teaching raids. Sometimes we'll do like an old school raid night in the guild where we do like the old raids like that we don't run in our regular raid routine. It's like Titan or Reaver's Fade or Caught in the Web. We don't even run anymore. Okay guys, we are lit, but don't kill them yet. Let's just take one more minute, and I want people to see, I want people to get fly. So I want everybody around the Reaver, but don't DPS him. Just if you've never done this, see Rurk got fly. Rurk's flying around like a crazy dragonborn. Go ahead and fly up, Rurk. Go ahead and fly up to the middle and see what it's like up there. Oh, I got fly too. And it's the same as the effect that you get from like Reaver's Refuge when you talk to the giant and you can fly up to talk to, you know, the NPCs up there. But it's real nice for casters, you know, once you get fly, you can DPS him without him able to hit you. And you can stay out of the way of the air elementals. You're a real dragon now. Okay, let's go ahead and kill the Storm Reaver. And Thaddeus, there's no way for you to get back, by the way.
Yeah, no, I can't get out of here without fly. I try jumping as much as I can, but
The barrier will go down once the machine is diffused.
So here is the puzzle, and everybody just take care of air elementals every time I enter a wrong solution, and I'll take care of the puzzle. And basically the solver just tells you to enter 1122 as your first like trial or test solution. So you do 1122, and then you pull the lever to register the solution, and then you look up and you'll see there's these bubbles next to it that can turn white or black. You'll see there's one white bubble up there and no black. So in the solver you enter 1 white and 0 black.
Clock's in here too if you need a reminder how much time's left.
And with entering 1122 and there's 1 white and 0 black, it says the next solution to try is 2355. So now I enter 2355. And then I pull the lever to register the solution, and then I look for the colored orbs. So I have 1 black and 0 white. So I'm going to enter that. And those colors mean, by the way, if you're sort of doing this legitimately, if it was black, it means you have 1 correct number in the correct spot. And if it was white, it means you have a correct number but in the wrong spot. So with the second solution entered with 1 black and 0 white, it says the next one to try is 1613.
thanks, Strobel, but that would lock me out of the quest permanently if I took a detour.
Yeah, do not detour. Ever. Okay, 1613. Pull the lever to register that solution. And now we have 1 black again and 0 white. The solver says 1264 is our next solution. One, 2, 6, 4 is entered. Register it by pulling the lever. Now we have 2 white and 0 black. Four, 4, 1, 5, and it says this move will solve the puzzle. Okay, 4, 4, 1, 5 is there. We'll pull the lever, and it should complete the raid, which it did. Congrats on your first Reaver's Fate completions, guys. That's where the kill lever is up there, so he was able to just drop through that barrier when it came down after it was completed. The named raid loot in here has 1 upgrade. You can upgrade it by using a seal of the Storm Reaver, which you get from the big chest here at the Storm Reaver monument right there in Giant Hold. You just put the base item and the seal in there, and it will upgrade it. Anybody get any named loot? We got skunked. Okay guys, Fall of Truth is next, but does anybody have any questions about Reaver's fate before we recall out? Like I said, it's one of the most soloable raids in the game. So I really encourage you, even if this was your first time, bring your level 30 in here and just give it a try. And if nothing else, you'll learn the raid a little bit better. Yeah, you can't detour because it would put you behind the barrier at the start, and then you'd be locked out forever. But Thaddeus is let out of that kill lever room once it completes. Okay, we got someone who's going to join us for FOT. Hi RBL, are you new to, or you said you're new to Fall of Truth, are you flagged? Okay, cool, we're happy to have you.
We'll be right back. Be right back on Lemuria.
Okay, cool. Don't forget to turn it in to Aegon, the hill giant outside of the entrance. Well, thanks for coming, Travable. You too. Hey Beld, thanks for coming, dude. Anybody watching the live stream have any questions about Reaver's fate? And by the way, guys, while you got people switching for Fall of Truth, so if you need to bio or grab a drink or something, now's a good time to do that. Welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to step away just for a second, too. I'll be right back. I am back. Hey, Meister. I only know that's you because you told me your real name today. I didn't know what it was till today. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Alright guys, we are going to... I haven't decided what difficulty we're going to do Follow Truth on. Now the first maybe year that we did this as a teaching raid, we just did it on normal. And because, you know, there are death timers on higher difficulties, and I just, you know, like to keep things a really low stress environment so that we can focus on learning the mechanics of the raid and not worry about dying. But the second year, like, normal was just like ridiculously easy, so we're definitely not doing it on normal. And we did it on hard, even like last year, and when we did this as a teaching raid earlier this season, like hard was really easy too. So I'm just tossing it out there, like if you guys want to give it a try on Epic Elite, we can. I believe that we can handle that with no problem, but some people probably will die. So I want to hear what people would like to try. If we don't do Epic Elite, we'll do Epic Hard, and I'm fine with either one. We are definitely not doing it on Reaper mode. That is not an option. I've actually never done this on Reaper mode.
I'm good with whatever the party wants. Elite sounds fun.
Yeah, you know, we got two really good tanks here, Beldarian and Bolo Grub. And so I think we're going to be just fine. I'd love to do Elite. That way everybody can get maximum favor, and, you know, you won't be scared to maybe you won't be scared to join an Epic Elite bug. Go ahead and enter Follow Truth. The entrance is the same as Reaver's Fate, and I want to know who here has never done this raid before. I also want to know who watching the live stream has never done Follow Truth before, or if you've done it a few times and didn't understand it. My guilty Beldarian is lying. The Beldarian can solo this on Epic Elite, I'm sure. By the way, this raid is soloable. It is a fun challenge. I've soloed it on normal. I've done it with 2 for Bravery bonus at level 29 on Epic Elite. I've never soloed anything higher than normal, though. But it's very soloable. It's definitely, you know, it's not, you know, Reaver's Fate, super easy to solo if you took it like an epic tune in there. Like if you took your level 30 in there, it's going to be ridiculously easy to solo, more than likely, depending on what tune you have. But this is not going to be a blow-off to solo. I mean, you're definitely going to need to at least know what you're doing and have a tune that can survive stuff. So in here, let's see, do we have everybody in? Yep, everybody's here. We have one person in the live stream that has never done it and is learning along with us. I'm glad you're tuning in, Laurel. So from the looks of this, it looks the same as the raid we just got done doing. But once we step forward and the Storm Reaper's done with his little dialogue with Brawn Pits, and that's Brawn Pits, by the way, from Small Problem out in the Red Fence? No.
House of Yarlin, Carnival Chain.
House of Yarlin. Thank you. Yeah, so that's Brawn Pits. So they're going to have a little dialogue, and once they finish their dialogue, the floor will actually fall out into a much bigger, well, a bigger arena. And there's going to be 3 pairs of giants and dragons down there that all want to see us dead. Now, for those of you who are learning this raid, is there anybody who hasn't done like the Tor dragons before? Giant Hold Tor, where you go in and you fight the giant and the dragon, you got to kill them at the same time. got the blue dragon and the white dragon and the black dragon. What about you, Meth and Arbiel? Have you guys done the Tor dragons before? Okay, cool. So you know how like there's a giant and a dragon pair, and you got to kill them at the same time, otherwise they get right back up. Well, that's going on here too, and it's like all of Giant Hold Tor in one big room. There are 3 pairs of giants and dragons that all have to be taken down at the same time. Not just each pair individually has to be taken down. So what we're going to do is be focusing on one pair at a time. And then once one pair is dead, then the next, and then the next. There's actually a total of 4 pairs of giants and dragons, and then once you do the first 3, the final pair is the Storm Reaver and the Truthful One. The Truthful One is the Shadow Dracolich, and the Storm Reaver is our buddy over there. And the only reason we have to fight the Storm Reaver is because at the end of the raid he actually gets charmed and then is fighting against us. But up until that point, he's actually fighting for us. He's actually fighting the giants and dragons with us, but then he gets charmed by the Truthful One for the final stage of the raid. And so you ideally want to have 2 tanks, one person to tank the Storm Reaver and one person to tank the Truthful One. Yeah, he needs a better will save. I wonder what the DC on a Shadow Dracolich's charm monster is, though. It's probably pretty high. This is not... Yeah, a Dracolich. I'm sorry, I said Shadow Dracolich. The Shadow Dracolich is in Temple of the Deathworm. This is just a regular Dracolich.
Much better.
So I believe the DR is bludgeoning and magic. Immune to electric and cold, just like a lich. Yeah, it's just a regular Dracolich, it's not a Shadow Dracolich. And it is, I believe, a Dracolich of a red dragon. I believe the Truthful One was a red dragon when it was living. And it actually does fire and electric breath, which can be pretty intense. But on Epic Elite, it'll hurt. We're going to have some deaths in here. More than likely. But that's okay. And there is a death timer. Don't panic. It'll be okay. Okay, so we're going to step forward and we're going to meet at the right wall. And then the Storm Reaver and Brown Pits are going to have a little dialogue. And after that, the floor will drop out. And then we're going to keep moving to the east. And sort of like, we'll be in like kind of a little cubby at the side. And the reason why we want to do that is because ideally that way we will aggro as little as possible on the main floor. And like I said, we're going to be killing them in pairs, and the pairs have names. There's like the dragons are all called the Disciples of, and it's Lies, Confused, and Silence. So it's Disciple of Lies, Disciple of Confusion, Disciple of Silence. Those are the dragons. And then their corresponding giants are called like Joram the Confused, and somebody the Silent, and somebody the Liar. I can't remember all their names.
Nathan the Silent, Bjorn the Liar.
That would be the ones. See, that's why I have my guildies along here, to remember the things that I forget. Thank you very much, Ina. And so we're going to kill like the Lies pair first, and then the Confusion pair, and then the Silence pair. And so anytime you run this with a group, you're going to have a kill order. And most people do Lies, Confused, Silence, but not necessarily. You know, whatever your leader tells you to do, that's what you should do. And the kill order comes from basically getting rid of the most dangerous ones first. Like these different pairs have different abilities. Some of them do like a confusion effect, for example, dancing balls. I can't remember all their different abilities, but they all have different abilities, and that's where that kill order comes from, is basically taking out the biggest threat first. Also, and this little tidbit, even a lot of people that have been doing this raid for a long time don't know this. When you get hit by any of the dragon breath in here, or at least the pairs, the first 3 pairs, it spawns trash mobs. The number of trash mobs is determined by the number of people that you hit by the Dragon Breath. So if you are not tanking one of those early pairs, don't get in front of the dragon. Don't get hit by the Dragon Breath. It's just trash can be a problem in here. And the wraiths, there's going to be wraiths and what's the other trash mobs in here? Air elementals. I feel like there's one more thing. Is there one more thing?
Weeps. Weeps.
Yeah. The wraiths have this ability where like they can congregate together and like sacrifice themselves in a big explosion, and that's really freaking deadly. So if you got a bunch of wraiths running around, it can get a little scary. And when we first drop down, the Dracolich, the truthful one, won't be active yet. He doesn't come down and bother us until the first pair is killed. Like he's just flying up, looking down, laughing at his minions trying to kill us, and he thinks that they're just going to kill us and he won't even have to get involved. But once he sees that we kill the first pair, then he's going to be like, all right, I guess I got to take care of things myself. And so once the first pair is dead, the Dracolich will come down, and then that's when the tank, the person who's tanking the truthful one, is going to pull the truthful one off of us and basically just run to the other side of the arena and to hold him there until we're ready for it. Meanwhile, the rest of the party is working on the confusion pair. And then once the confusion pair is dead, we work on the silence pair. And once the silence pair is dead, then there's this crystal that's floating above us. It's the Doomsday device, and it was the same crystal that is from the previous raid. The Doomsday device that's designed, that Storm Reaver made to like blow up everything. And we're gonna, so after the first 3 pairs are dead, we're gonna kill that crystal. And that's sort of a lull in the raid. You really have all the time in the world at that point. As long as your truthful one tank can hold the truthful one and is not dying all the time, and the truthful one's not running all over the place, then like you have all the time in the world after the first 3 pairs are dead to like get people raised up, to get buffed up, use some clickies, etc. And this is, if I didn't say this already, this is not a timed raid. You do have all the time you want. There's no real sense of urgency going on in here. Although this is also can be very chaotic raid, but it can be over actually pretty quickly if you have a high DPS crew. One of the biggest problems that you get into in a pug, especially disorganized pugs, is that they're not killing the pairs in order, or at the same time, I should say. So people are just killing things all willy-nilly, and then they're just regenerating. Well, if you have a really high DPS group, maybe that won't be a problem. But if you don't, then they just get back up and regenerating, and you got to beat them down again. And I've heard horror stories about pugs just, people just rage quitting because nobody can get their act together and kill the pairs together. So important point here is please do not kill the lies, confused, or silence pair until the kill order is given. We're going to prep them to about 5% health, and once they're both prepped to that, then we'll kill them and move on to the next pair. When the Storm Reaver is active at the end of during the final stage of the raid, he has this special ability called the Boom. And when this raid first came out, the Boom was so frickin' terrifying. It's not too bad today, but can still be pretty ugly. The Boom, if you get near him and he shoots you with his little electrical attack, will appear on you as like a cloud, like an electrical cloud that hovers around your tune. If you have that, it's highly contagious to other players. If you get near another player, it'll just go right to them, and you can end up giving it to everybody. If you get the Boom, get away from everybody until it goes away. This is also another really important point, because it's very easy for like a noob to get the Boom, drag it over to the rest of the party, and it starts becoming a giant mess, because what happens with the Boom is like every, I don't know if it's 15, 20 seconds or whatever, you get struck by lightning. And unepically, it can do a lot of damage, so electrical damage mitigation can be very important in this raid. In fact, all elemental mitigation, but especially electric and fire, especially electric, can be really helpful. But if you get the Boom, run away from everybody else. Just look at the map and just get away from all the other blue dots until the Boom goes away. And like I said, you can tell if you have it because you'll have like an electrical cloud around you. It's very easy to see. And if you have that, you'll see it'll count down on the screen. It'll say 3, 2, 1, boom, and then you get struck by lightning. And if you don't have high hit points or good mitigation, then you might be dead. So, we're also going to have a couple people that are dedicated to killing trash. And so, ranged tunes are really good for trash duty. Do we have any ranged tunes here? Or blasting warlocks? Arbiel? Okay, we'll put you on trash duty if you don't mind. Signal mixer, you're a ranged tune, aren't you? Yeah, okay, we'll put Arbiel and signal mixer on trash duty. And if there's not any trash around, you know, you can help DPS the pairs, but you two need to be, you know, taking care of the trash. That'll be your job for, you know, pretty much the entire raid. Although I don't think there'll be too much trash during the final beatdown. And then we'll have Beldarian is going to be a truthful one tank, and everybody else is going to be working on giant and dragon pairs. And I'm going to type what the jobs are. When we get to the final stage of the raid, where the Storm Reaver has been charmed and fighting against us, and then there's the Dracolich, so we're going to have a separate person tanking the Storm Reaver, while the party and a separate tank is working on the truthful one. And because the Storm Reaver gives you that boom, you want to keep the Storm Reaver away from the truthful one. So they need to be sort of on opposite sides of the arena. But here's the thing. When the truthful one gets beat down to like 70% health, he's going to basically like resurrect the dragons as like undead versions, or like ghostly versions of the dragons that we already killed. The Lies, the Disciple of Lies, Disciple of Confusion, Disciple of Silence. So now there's going to be these 3 like shadow dragons running around. And different groups are going to handle them differently. A lot of groups will just have somebody assigned to kite them around. We actually like to kill them in High Lords because it's just one less thing to deal with. You know, you just get them out of the way, and that way if things start going wrong because of lag or people start getting the boom, you don't have these shadow dragons, you know, getting up in people's faces, screwing up the final beatdown. It does take a few extra minutes to kill those dragons, as opposed to if you just had somebody kiting them and everybody else could just keep focusing on the bosses. But, you know, I personally prefer just to get them out of the way so that they're not a problem. If you have a kiter and the kiter goes down, you know, it can get ugly when those dragons start getting in the faces of the other tanks, or, you know, start wiping out the party, etc. And so you want to keep... So at that point, when those shadow dragons spawn, everybody's going to break off the truthful one except the tank and start beating on them in the same order. We're going to kill them in the same order: Lies, Confuse, Silence. And at that point, you want to keep all the groups separate from each other. So you want the Storm Reaver separate from the truthful one, separate from the shadow dragons, and so you're kind of form a triangle, just to keep everything as far apart from each other as possible at that point. So the nutshell is 3 pairs of giants and dragons. We'll kill them down in each pair, working from one pair to the other. We don't kill in the kill order till the kill order is given. Then we kill the crystal. Then we work on the 2 bosses, the Shadow Dracolich, or the Dracolich and the Storm Reaver. We beat them down. We killed them at the same time. Then we win. A couple people will be working on trash. If you get the boom, run away from everybody else until it's gone. That's the nutshell version. Any questions before I type in jobs and we get started? Beldarian and Bolo, do you guys have a preference on Truthful One or Storm Reaver? Okay. Okay, Bolo is going to be our truthful one tank. Beldarian is going to be our Reaver tank. Trash crew is going to be Signal Mixer and Arbiel. And everyone else is going to be part of the pair's DPS crew. We're going to kill the dragons in the order of lies. The lies pair, the confused pair, and then the silence pair. And then when the baby or the undead dragons spawn, we're going to, you know, towards the end, we're going to kill them in the same order. Any questions? And we can go ahead and go in. Don't buff here. We're going to go ahead and gather over here at the right wall, the east wall, and we'll buff there. You can turn your DM audio on if you want to. Let's go ahead and get some buffs.
Go, seal the chamber, and warn the others. It is good of you to come. All
Alisong,
of
I'm not
you.
sure what's healing me. Somebody's aura. Oh,
There
sorry.
are
It's Kia.
battles that even a giant can't face
Question in the live
alone.
chat. Somebody's aura, maybe.
Tonight, we lure, trap, and slay the truthful one, so he cannot do to the little people what he did to mine. Come, first we destroy this doomsday machine for good.
Now, why would you destroy that machine? It did so much for you.
We meet again, Draco Lich. Come down here and fight, or forever be known as a coward.
Why do you say forever like it's a bad thing?
Your words are poison, dragon. I will not be fooled again.
My words are true, and thus cut deep. I cannot die. Now, you were saying...
The floor is going to drop out in a second.
wise
Everybody run to
men
the east when that
have
happens.
sealed this chamber. Dead, alive, or whatever you are, your evil stays here forever.
Be careful where you tread, giant, lest you step in the trap you set for another.
Everybody run to the
Disciples,
east.
slay this fool!
We do this so that we'll hopefully aggro as little as possible. Beldarian, if we get something other than the lies pair on us, please pull it away. Trash people work on trash. We're working on the lies pair first. And we got all 3 dragons here. This is a worst case scenario. So,
Stoned.
that's okay. Don't panic. We're going to work on the lies pair first. Beldarian, if you could pull away the non-lies pairs, that would be awesome. So we're working on the Disciple of Lies and Bjorn the Liar. And remember, don't kill until the order is given. Beldarian, if you could pull them away, the non-lies pairs, if you could pull them away, that'd be awesome. The Giant Liar is at about 50%.
Giants at 50.
Dragon Liar's about 50 also.
Okay, good. Just keep working them down. Giants at about 30. Looks like they're both about the same. Actually, the Giant's a little bit ahead. Remember, don't kill until the order is given, please. Looks like the Dragon's at like 10, 15%. The Giant's at about 5. Okay, they're at the same. Keep working them down. Go ahead and kill. Kill, kill, kill. Kill the lies pair. Giant's down.
Fool of a disciple!
Now,
After all I
the
taught him!
Dracolich is coming down. Bolo's gonna grab the
Well,
Dracolich and keep it off of us.
Looks like I'll have to get involved
We're gonna work on the
myself.
confused pair next.
After all.
Beldarian, if you could
Confused
pull,
giant needs work.
Beldarian, if you could pull the silence ones away
Dragon's
from us, that'd be
almost
great.
dead.
Don't kill until the order is given, guys. Everybody work on the confused giant. The Storm Reaver is actually DPSing them right now, so we gotta out DPS the Storm Reaver. When you're ready for raise, just call it out, please.
Confusion giants at about 5.
Alright, go ahead and kill. Kill the confused pair. When the giant goes down, switch to the dragon.
You've
Over by the
made
Storm
your
Reaver. Good job.
point. If you want to destroy this old doomsday device so badly, fine.
Don't work on the silent dragon, just work on the giant.
Do what you will.
He's probably going to go down from the Storm Reaver DPS, but let's try to out DPS and work on Mason the Silent in the center. Everybody on Mason the Silent other than our tank. Hey, looks like we're going to do it. Kill the silent pair. Great job, guys. Now the crystal is active in the center. This is the lull in the raid where there's really not much going on. And it won't advance to the next part until that crystal is dead. The Storm Reaver is just going to hang out there. There's not really, I don't think there are any trash, it's just the truthful one. So now's the point in the raid in which if you needed to raise people, you want to use clickies, you need to rebuff, whatever, now's a great time to do that. We don't need to do any of that right now though, so just work on the crystal. The Doomsday device up there, the Prism of Ages. And once that is killed, then there'll be some more dialogue, and the truthful one will charm the Storm Reaver, and Beldarian, our Storm Reaver tank, will pull the Storm Reaver away from us. And everybody else will work on the truthful one. When the Shadow Dragons spawn, it's good to have somebody who can kite around the ones that the party's not working on. We're going to kill them in the same order, lies, confuse, silence. And I'll go ahead and like tank them or kite them around. Never done that job, so we'll see what happens. Actually, I think I maybe done it once, but I'm always...
Is the crystal attacking us?
It does shoot little beams at us, yeah. It doesn't do too much damage. When we do these in our guild runs, I'm always
The
the tank,
prophecy.
and I'm usually the Reaver
Of
tank, but
course.
sometimes I tank the truthful
We
one.
are bound. Death and life. Life and death. You must kill us both. Together.
Silence! Your spell is gone, Storm Reaver. And so is your time. Do as I say.
Yes, Master.
Now! Kill these peons! They know too much!
Yes, Master.
So Beldarian's going to pull the Storm Reaver away from us and have the Storm Reaver face the wall so that his electrical attacks won't shoot out at us, because he can shoot that across the arena. And the rest of the party is going to attack the Dracolich, the truthful one, from behind, while Bolo Grub tanks it. And I'm just going to help spot heal because I have Cocoon and Renewal, since we don't have a healer proper. Once the truthful one's beat down to 70, he's gonna resurrect the dragons that we killed as like ghosts. And everybody will break off. We'll kill them in the same order: lies, confuse, silence. It's just so everybody knows which one to get on.
This is clearly not
Okay, he's gonna spawn the
working.
dragons
Disciples.
now.
Disciples, serve me in death as you have in life. Rise!
There's the lies. Go ahead and kill that one. But pull it away from the truthful one. I'm trying to get the dragon off you, Beld. I don't want to intim him because he's so close to the Reaver. Once you kill the lies one, the confusion one's in the middle. Oh no, actually the
Apparently
silence
didn't
one's
like
in the
my
middle.
DPS.
Do the silence one next since he's in the middle. I can't get the confusion one off the Beld.
Lies is down.
The confusion one is down too. We just have silence, who's in the middle. You know, I should have told you at the start that these dragons, you know, they're blue, white, and black dragon. So they have their corresponding breath. Black dragon shoot acid breath, white dragon shoot cold breath, blue dragon shoot electric breath. And it's the same for their spirits. Okay, now the party goes back to the truthful one. And we need to kill the truthful one and the Storm Reaver at the same time. So ideally, your Storm Reaver tank will be able to solo the Storm Reaver, who has a lot less hit points than the truthful one. Beld has the Storm Reaver prepped already. So watch your DPS over there, Beld, please. I know you know what you're doing, though. Beld's awesome tank. But sometimes, you know, if your tank, you know, if you don't have a DPS tank, then, you know, they might ask for some DPS to help out. And so if you ever had to help the Reaver tank, you typically want ranged DPS because you don't want to get over there and get the boom. So you have like your ranged folks help them out, keeping a distance and keeping DPS low as not to pull the aggro
Off
away.
timer.
So you wouldn't want to, like, you know, start fury shotting the Reaver and pull the Reaver over. That would be really bad.
He's a sliver, so I'm stopping DPS.
Okay, the Reaver is prepped, so we just need to finish DPSing the truthful one. You typically want to kill the truthful one first. Make sure you turn your aura off, Beld. You don't have any guards.
Yep, I turned it off already.
Okay. Truthful one's at 10%. He's up in the air. He's at 5%. %, 1%. Kill, kill, kill. Great job, everyone. Great tanking, Beld and Bolo. That's Fall of Truth.
I give my life
Congrats on your first completions, guys.
so that this may
Any questions?
end. I have done what I must. Now, I rest.
First timers, go ahead and open the chests. If this was your first time, just pick a chest and it's all yours. The 3 chests in the back are just junk chests, and it's the middle chest that can give raid loot. Pretty long death timer here on Elite. We'll let Meth do the big chest after they get raised. The big chest is all yours, Meth. All this raid loot can be upgraded using commendations of heroism that you could get from this raid. You can also get them from Caught in the Web. You can also use, it's the same commendations of heroism, so you can use those to upgrade this gear or Caught in the Web weapons.
That said, the elite loot here already comes with the max upgrades, but if you run a lower setting, it's handy to know.
Well, shoot. There, D50, 2 commendations of heroism. If anybody has any questions about any of the raids that we did tonight, please let me know. Otherwise, that's it. It looks like I got somebody passed me there, so I'm going to do high and low wins. I have 3 and 2. I'm going to give the 3 to the high roller, the 2 to the low roller. Okay, Reaver, you're getting the 3. Thaddeus, you're getting the 2.
Yay.
There you go. Okay, great job, everyone. Thanks for coming out. There's actually not going to be a teaching raid next Saturday, but I'm hoping to have one the Saturday after that, so watch the Sarlano forums. Don't forget to turn these in, and have a great night. You're very welcome. And thanks for tuning in, live streamers. If you guys have any questions about either of the raids, I'm going to be monitoring the chat for the next 5 minutes or so, but I am going to shut down the live stream. Like I said, I will be monitoring chat for about 5 minutes. If you have any questions, let me know. And thanks for tuning in.